What happened to free speech in the UK, eh? Obviously there is no free speech anymore. I made a video about Rachel Reeves, where I put in a clip calling her some names, hurty words, and you're not allowed to say hurty words these days. And also I'm told that the information that I gave was incorrect, so I have to make a formal apology to Rachel Reeves. This is my video, a formal apology to Rachel Reeves, who is about to do the budget, which will not incorporate, allegedly, pay per mile scheme for electric cars. However, we know eventually it will, but apparently, allegedly, that the information that I got was from a certain tabloid newspaper and was incorrect. And what I said to Rachel was hurtful words, hurty words, and it was wrong of me to do so. So anyway, if you're new to the channel, do hit the subscribe button and click that little bell for notifications of when I upload new videos. Now, without further ado, my friends, let's go. Right, let's get down to business. This can't be a long video because I have got a plane to catch very soon because I need to leave the country quickly. In fact, maybe I shouldn't come back. Anyway, I made a video a few days ago where I said that electric car owners would have to pay per mile, that they were going to bring in the budget, that they were going to have to pay per mile if you had an electric car. Allegedly, that information was incorrect. The source of information that I used was, I think it was the Daily Mirror. They've also printed some kind of a retraction kind of thing now, basically, because they've said in the Commons that isn't going to happen. I'm going to read that to you shortly. I personally think, well, it's going to happen, isn't it? Even if it doesn't happen this budget, they are going to do pay per mile. They are going to implement pay per mile, and yes, it will start with EV owners and then it will spread and it will go to people with petrol and diesel cars. The scheme is already in place, I believe, in New Zealand. Anybody in New Zealand, let me know how that works, if it's implemented there. I believe it is. So just let me know actually how they implement that. How do they actually charge you? How does it work? Is it on your MOT? Is it on a little black box that they fit? Let me know. But we know, whatever the government say in their budget, and whatever they say, it's normally telling fibs, isn't it? They always tell fibs. They just want to tell you what you want to hear. Anyway, that's by the by. My apologies to Rachel Reeves, because allegedly, well, I didn't actually call her it. Listen, in the video, here's a clip, right? I actually put a clip in. Well, here's the clip. Now, I'm not political. I just think that Rachel, well, I can't even say what Rachel Reeves is, really. So, but I can do this. Rachel Reeves.
You are scum! You make everything you touch dirty! And you made me lower than you are!
Well, there you go. You see, I didn't actually call her that. Edward Woodward called her that, and apparently she was, it's hurty words, and she was a little upset by that. In fact, she was crying. I mean, look, here's a clip of her crying.
You are scum! You make everything you touch dirty!
There you go. You see, she's crying. Obviously, that's a clip from when she's crying. I have to say that. Obviously, it's a clip from when she's crying. Don't know what she was crying about there, actually. But anyway, I said hurty words. And I also said that she was a
stupid woman.
And I didn't. I didn't say that. That was a clip from Hello Hello. But because I put it in, then it was me that was saying those hurty words. So I'm sorry, Rachel Reeves. You are not a
stupid woman,
and you are not. There we go. So anyway, I'm going to drive. I'm driving back towards Mansfield to see my elder kids in my electric car. That I'm not paying per mile on as yet, but we do know it will happen. Let me know in the comments section whether you think pay per mile will be implemented eventually in the UK. We know it's coming. They said it's not. It is. I mean, initially when they brought electric cars out, that they said there was no road tax, then we now pay road tax on them. They also said that they wouldn't have to pay congestion charge at the end of December. Electric cars have to pay the congestion charge in London now as well. So that's taken away. So what they do is they dangle the carrot for you, get an electric car and dangle the carrot, and then what they do is whip it away. So if you're thinking of getting an electric car, right, maybe it might be okay for you if you're driving around town, but let's not listen to these absolute buffoons anymore, because they just lie. Let me get out of the way of this lorry. They just lie to get what they want. It's all lies. So if you're thinking of getting an electric car, to save money, if you're thinking of getting an electric car to save money, then short term, right, it might, well, it won't actually, because you're paying more. Just go and get yourself a diesel or something, or a petrol, right, and be done with it. Because I can tell you, in the long term, you spend more on the car, the residuals of the car and the prices of them fall dramatically. They fall off of a cliff. So if you go out and pay 50 grand for an electric car, you're going to drive it off the forecourt. It's probably going to be worth about 14 to 15 grand immediately. So don't bother getting an electric car, right? And just go and get yourself a nice diesel or a petrol, a used one, and that'll save you money. So there we go. Anyway, onwards. And I'll read you this little story that the Mirror's put out. It's going to be interesting because we've got the budget on Wednesday, and the big question is, are they going to come up with some kind of penalisation, is that the right word, for car owners? I think they're going to put tax on petrol and more. They're going to increase the tax on and fuel duty on petrol and diesel to try and make it look more appealing to go down the electric route for now, because they're going to dangle that carrot. So it's going to be interesting. So there we go. Right, onwards. Right, so let's get down to business. My apology. Rachel Reeves.
You are scum! You make everything you touch dirty!
No, don't say that, Edward. You're gonna get me in trouble again. That wasn't me. That was Edward Woodward. Let me try again. Rachel Reeves.
you stupid woman.
No, stop it, Renee. That's not me. That was the guy from Hello Hello. I never said any of this. I never said a word. You can't call women that now. You can only call men that now. It's hurty words. It's not allowed in the UK. Pay per mile? Well, if we were paying per mile, we wouldn't be paying much, because you can't get very far these days, can you? Have you not noticed that the roads just get more chocker and busy, and you can't get anywhere? There's more roadworks. Then you go abroad. When I did my journey down to Spain in my electric car, France and Spain, their roads were so much better. The state of the roads were better. There was less traffic on them. The way that people drive over there on the motorways or freeways or whatever you call them there were way better. They had lane discipline. People in this country stick in the middle lane when you're driving along at, I don't know, 50 mile an hour, and they just stick there. honestly, and people will, by the way, will say, oh, you're Conservative, you're Labour. I'm not any. I think all of them, every party that comes in, just lie. They literally just lie. And I believe that there are powers above them that control them and tell them what to do. So I just think they're puppets. So Rachel Reeves,
You stupid woman!
I mean, with a Lego hairstyle, which is what Katie Hopkins said. I even got into trouble in the comments section with that. I can't believe that you like Katie Hopkins. I never said I liked Katie Hopkins. I don't think so anyway. Although she's all right. I think she's quite fit, actually. Something about her. Anyway, let's get to our destination, and I'll read you this report that's in the Mirror again. Now, what they're saying, because they've kind of done a bit of a U-turn on it makes you wonder, doesn't it? Did the government actually have the intention of introducing this 3p per mile or whatever it is, pay per mile for electric cars? And then because they saw the outrage of it all and the outrage of people think, oh, we'd better do a U-turn on it for now. You never know, do you? Apparently they've said, we never had the intention of doing that. We never had the intention of bringing in pay per mile. It's going to be interesting what the budget brings. Anyway, onwards. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. It's interesting because a lot of people said, well, I think electric cars should pay per mile. I mean, they're heavier. They damage the roads. They should be paying per mile. There we go. The cause of the problem. A lorry and a car. Now, I wonder who was at fault there. And now, I do apologise, I have got a nosebleed, and I have to say, since I've had my electric car, was it 3-4 years ago, I have had no end of nosebleeds, which is strange. It's odd, isn't it? I've never had this many nosebleeds. You'll see on the videos that I've done. When I did John O'Groats to Land's End with Jeff Buys Cars, my nose was streaming, and it's only since I've had my electric car. But surely a nosebleed and an electric car can't be connected. Anyway, onwards. Okay, so let's get down to business. First of all, my apology. Well, Rachel Reeves, sorry, I keep getting that wrong. Rachel from accounts, Rachel Reeves, I'm sorry. But it wasn't me that said,
You are scum! You make everything you touch dirty!
It was Edward Woodward, and it wasn't me that said,
You stupid woman!
it was, Rennie from LOLO. So I make no apologies. That's a politician's answer, isn't it? However, the 3 pence per mile, the mile charge, etc. Is that going to happen? It will happen. We know eventually in the future it will happen. However, let me just read this to you, okay? Because this is from the Mirror. Let me put it in reader view so I can get rid of all the stupid adverts. Right. Key pay per mile update issued in new statement. Transport Secretary Heidi Alexander faced questions in the Commons about what it's this week's budget now, would mean for motorists and rail passengers. The Transport Secretary has given an update amid rumours the government is planning a pay per mile scheme for drivers. Of course they are! They're just literally going to back off on it now, aren't they? Because it will make them very, very disliked, unpopular. She said ministers were not drawing up a blanket national paper mile scheme. Paper mile system explained. Heidi Alexander faced questions in the Commons about what this week's budget would mean for motorists and rail passengers, as Sir Keir Starmer pledged Wednesday's announcement would be a fair budget to bear down on the cost of living. Conservative MP Charles Dewhurst warned that charging motorists based on how far they travel would disproportionately impact drivers in the countryside. The Bridlington and the Wolds MP asked, would the Secretary of State agree with me that the introduction of a pay per mile charge for motorists in the budget would disproportionately impact rural constituencies like my own, because people are far more reliant on cars to get about and represent yet another slap in the face from the government for the countryside and for our motorists. Mr. Alexander replied, there are no proposals to introduce Ms. Alexander, sorry, Ms. What does that mean, MS? Ms. Alexander replied, there are no proposals to introduce a national paper mile scheme. This government is firmly on the side of drivers. No, you're not. That's a lie. Where's my apology for that? Where's our apology? The Transport Secretary added that the government was already pumping $24 billion of capital into motorways and local roads, with repairs to run-down bridges, decaying flyovers and worn-out tunnels. Duty on vehicles such as petrol and diesel raised just under $25 billion in the 24 and 25 financial year, but a switch to electric vehicles risks denting the Treasury's take. Don't do it then. Why did you do it? Good grief, the Telegraph revealed earlier this month that Ms. Reeves was gearing to unveil a 3p per mile levy for EV motorists alongside existing road taxes set to commence from 2028. Following consultation, officials indicated that drivers would face charges based on their estimated mileage. Why don't you do you remember when they charged 4 years ago for how many windows you'd got? Without widespread, so people boarded them up, without widespread electronic surveillance of their journeys. Get UK politics in sight with our free daily email briefing into your inbox. I think that's an advert. We use, that's got crept through my reader. A government spokesman previously called for a fairer system for all drivers whilst backing the transition to electric vehicles, with purchasers receiving grants reducing upfront costs by £3,750. Dangling the carrot yet again. Listen, I won't read the rest of this. Basically, they've reneged on the fact that they're going to do the 3p per mile. I'll put the link in the description to this Mirror story if you do want to read it and have a look for yourself. But Rachel Reeves, I make no apology, because we know that whatever government that is in, they are going to introduce a pay per mile scheme, because it's dangling carrots. If you are looking at buying an electric car to save yourself some money, save yourself some time and money now and go and get yourself a nice diesel or a petrol, and you will save yourself in the long run. Because at the end of the day, we know the governments lie. And how do we know they lie? Because their lips are moving. So there we go. Rachel Reeves.
You are scum! You make everything you touch dirty!
And on that bombshell, I'll catch you guys in the next one. If you did enjoy the video, by the way, and you found it a bit amusing, do hit the subscribe button. Costs you nothing. I won't charge you per minute. See you later. Bye-bye.